So one of the things that's helpful for two-digit multiplication, especially to understand what they are doing, not only simply to do it, is to basically color code it. And the color code I'm using is green for ones, red for tens, blue for thousands. Blue for hundreds and brown for thousands. It doesn't matter too much which colors you use. Just be consistent with the colors when you are doing your calculations. And before that also get children comfortable with multiplying with tens. So for example, if you have a number, let's say you have a number like 24, right, and you want to multiply it with, you can use a different color for symbols, or you can use the same color. If you want to multiply it with 10, there's a different video for this, of course, but essentially the idea being that you can just add a 0 at the end. So this should be something that children are very comfortable with. That now I have no zeros, and whatever was the number 24, right, it will appear as this. Digits will be the same, but your tens have become hundreds and your ones have become tens. So this should be something children are quite comfortable with. Multiplication with tens. Of course, I have the video for hundreds, thousands, and so on, which can also be fun. But for now, we come back to multiplication with tens. And if they understand multiplication with tens, then the idea that if you multiply with, let's say, the same 24, we multiply with something like 3 tens, 30. So then this is equal to, the 0 will still be in the zeros place. So that 0 that comes when you do two-digit multiplication, you get them used to putting that 0 down, and then you're just multiplying 3 times 24, right? So 3 4s are 3 tens times 4 is 12 tens. So that is why you have a 2 and 1 carry. That's 100 that has to be added in the end. So now you multiply the tens, you get hundreds. 2 3s are 6. 6 plus 1, 7. So once they are quite comfortable with these, right, and you use the color code to make sure that they don't get confused. In the sense, these two are not the same color, so you can't add these two and then multiply, right? So this part and all will become clear if you use these, and you've done the same with the ones before. Then when you multiply, let's say the same 24, right, times let's say 36, okay, 36, then what am I going to get, right? So if children are used to writing things horizontally, you don't have to force them to write them vertically. It's okay if they are more comfortable doing it like this. You don't need to make them write it like one under the other. So, but what you are doing is you're telling them that this is as good as multiplying. The first few times you can write the steps, and after that you can stop writing the steps. Yeah. So that's same 24. I'm going to have another 24. I'm going to write it down now itself. So 36 I'm going to split. I'm going to split 36 as, okay, I'm going to split 36 as 30 and 6. So I'm going to multiply with 6, I'm going to multiply by 30, then I'm going to add it together. That is as good as multiplying by 36. Yeah. So if you've done the commutative property, that's great. If you have not done it, you do it now, and then you explain that this is the same as a commutative property they are used to. So when they work on this, the first part is just multiplication with a single digit number. This they know. That's an assumption. They should already know single digit multiplication. Otherwise, please focus on single digit multiplication along with a two digit number multiplied with a single digit number. So when you multiply it, you get 6 4s are 24. So that's 4 ones. Right? And 2 tens, but you still don't add them because you haven't multiplied this yet. You have to add this in the end, right? And 6 2s are 12. So that's 12 tens. 12 tens plus 2 tens is 14 tens. So 14 tens is actually written like that, right? And then of course when you multiply by 30, you first do your zeros will come directly, right? And then you have the same 7. You already done it before. So when we add this together, because I wanted 36 and this is 30 and 6 separately, so I add them together, I get the result. Okay, so you can practice more, and if there are thousands, you will also get the last color coming in. Okay, so at this the goal of this is the first step, so in which they sort of understanding what they are doing. Now as a second step, you will just do the multiplication more or less directly, the way it is usually done, which is you have your 24, so you have your 24, then you have your 36, so then you multiply with the ones first, which is the 6, you will get your 144. And then now you're multiplying by 30, and because you're multiplying by 30, there are no ones, and then you get your 720, which you add together to get your results. So if you have multiple chalks, you should have at least 4 colors of chalks. If you have one more, great, 5 colors of chalks, to be able to do these in the beginning, so they get used to it, and once they have gotten used to it, they'll be able to do it more easily. The thing is, when you're multiplying like this, you will get things to be added like this, what we did in the beginning, and then you have to strike it out when you multiply the tens. So it's a little messy. This one doesn't have that mess. Even if you had other carries, you will not be striking things off. But here you need to do that. So I think that's the disadvantage of this, is that this already assumes you understand what you are doing. But most times when we are doing a 2-digit multiplication, we don't even explain to them why this comes. We just tell them multiply like this, like this, like this, like this. So rather than just make it into a mechanical thing, you can put these steps first, and then eventually you can remove these steps and say, well, as long as you remember that when you do the multiplication, the second digit you want to multiply, you remove the first, it's fine.